Hello lovelies, welcome to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and today we're going to be doing a general 3-month reading for Pisces. We're going to see what 2019 has to bring to you. So whenever I start a reading, there's a few things that I always do first. The first is I light my sage to cleanse and bless the area that I'm working in, to create a protective boundary and to clear out any negativity that might be surrounding me. Now, one of the things you always want to make sure you do when you light sage is you have a door or a window open for that negative energy to be able to go out. I personally am really enjoying white sage right now, but if white sage is not something you enjoy, you can use cedar, pine, regular sage is also a really great one too for cleansing and clearing of negativity. Just make sure you have that door open. Now you do have the option of putting the sage stick out once you've saged, or I like to just let it burn out on its own in my smudging bowl. The next thing I do is light a candle. I usually use a blue or a purple candle. I like the energy that I get from blue or purple. I find it helps bring me into a higher state of intuition and meditation, but you can use any candle that makes you happy. Then I lay out my crystals. There are specific crystals that I like to use when I'm doing a reading. The first one being sodalite. Let's see if we can get that to focus. There we go. The next one being blue kyanite. Blue kyanite and sodalite I find really open up my intuitive receptors. They connect really well with my third eye chakra, bring me closer to the spirit guides and to my own intuition when I'm reading the cards. The next one I use is jet. Jet is a great protection stone. It grounds out negative energy. It almost creates like a barrier against all things negative. If they do slip in, they're going to be drawn to the jet and be grounded out. So I really love using jet. Then rose quartz. Now, rose quartz is really connected to the heart chakra. And I believe that whenever you're doing anything with your intuition or anything spiritual, you want to have a lot of love and light and positivity. And rose quartz symbolizes that to me. So I always have that out when I do my readings. And then citrine. Citrine is absolutely beautiful. I really, really love this stone. And I find it really grounds me when I'm trying to do my meditation. It really helps me focus and it centers me. The last one I'm using today is blue agate. Now this is dyed blue agate. And the reason that I picked this stone is this really symbolizes Piscean energy to me. It's kind of is, to me, Pisces in stone form. So I'm having it there to help increase the energy of Pisces as I'm channeling this reading. So the first thing that I do is I am using the Robin Wood deck. It's one of my favorite decks. It was gifted to me by a really good friend of mine. What I like about this deck is the pictures are beautiful. They're decorative. The back of the card deck is quite fancy, but it's really simple to read. It's simple to understand. The descriptions are really simple to grasp. So it's a great beginner deck, but it's also beautiful. So if you're like me and you like the fancy tarot decks, when you're learning to read, this is a great deck to start with. The other deck I'm going to be using today is the Santa Muerte Oracle deck. Now this deck is a little bit more complicated to understand and read. And I'm still learning, but I love it. I've been really enjoying working with it. It does have a companion tarot, which I do have, but I still need to do some more work before I do too many readings with that. But the Oracle deck itself is just stunning. The pictures are gorgeous, but they're a little bit harder to discern the message just by looking at it. So I would say this is more of an intermediate to advanced sort of reading deck when you're working through your tarot reading. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to pull 2 cards for January, 2 cards for February, and 2 cards for March. One for the beginning of the month and one for the end of the month. And then I'm going to pull an oracle card to sum up the overall feel of the months. So, without further ado, let's get started. I always start by shuffling. You got to shuffle the deck really, really well. Everyone has their own way that they like to do it. I tend to just shuffle until it feels right. Wow, all right. Got cards jumping off the table. I did spend some time in meditation before I started this to invite my spirit guides in and ask them to join us here and help me relay the messages that you are supposed to know. So that's, I guess, would be the very first step that I take before I set up my reading station. We almost are. Good. Now, everyone has their own way that they like to pull cards and cut the deck. I personally like to just take a minute to feel where the energy is in the cuts. And then I take a minute to feel which deck pile calls to me the most, in what order I'm going to put them back together. Now, as far as how I pull, I like to fan my cards out like this until I feel the right one that I feel like should be pulled for the energy I'm channeling. Not everyone likes to do that. Everyone has their own preferences. That's just my personal preference. But any way you feel is correct. Okay. You guys have a very interesting situation happening in the next 3 months. I don't think I've ever had quite this many cards just jump out at me before. I think everyone except for the last couple weeks of February has a partner. So, Pisces, here's what's going on. In the beginning of January, we got the King of Swords and the Four of Wands. Now, whenever I see the King of Swords, what this generally symbolizes to me is the entrance of a new person. It could be male, it could be female, but somebody new is coming into your situation. Whether it be a new business opportunity, a new business partner, it could be a new friend, or it could be a new boyfriend or girlfriend. Somebody new is coming in. Now, when I see the Four of Wands, that usually makes me think romance. So, and by looking at the rest of your cards, I'm getting the feeling that it's going to be probably a new romantic situation. Now, that may not apply to everyone. This is a general reading, but I do believe that you will be in a new romantic situation in January. Now, the thing is, this relationship's going to be intense and fiery and passionate and all-consuming from the get-go. I feel like this could be something that's carried over from 2018. Maybe the very end of 2018, it sort of started to build. And now into January of 2019, it's really going, it's really rolling, it's really an intense thing. But the problem is it's lacking some things, which is where I think the second half of these cards come into play, which is the Justice card and the Seven of Wands. Now, when I see the Justice card, usually what I get from that is that there's either a need for a return to balance. there's a need for a return to fairness, or there's a need for justice to be met with somehow. That's usually what I get from this card. So either something needs to be made right, or the beginnings of a proper resolution are coming into play. Now, with the Seven of Wands, usually what I feel when I see the Seven of Wands is it's a problem-solving card. It's a success against obstacles, and it's a bravery card. I feel like this new relationship is going to be very all-consuming and very intense, but it may not necessarily be a good thing. And I think you're going to probably have to be kind of brave, and you're going to have to do some problem solving, and you're going to have to do some balancing and maybe some writing and justifying of the situation. I do sense that beginning of February, we've got here the 10 of Swords and the 8 of Swords. You're going to come into a loss. There's going to be something that doesn't come to fruition in the way that you thought it was going to in regards to this relationship that began in the beginning of January. It's going to be a time of some turmoil. It's going to be difficult. And you're kind of going to feel like, what were you thinking? Why did you do this? This was such a mistake. Everything seems so wonderful. How could this happen? Where did this come from? What's going on? Don't lose hope. This is not the end of the world. You're going to take a moment to kind of regroup, maybe return to some old ways, some old thoughts, some quiet, timid behavior, some strict fundamentalism maybe, that's going to make you feel safe. That is definitely not the path you're supposed to stay on in March, but at the end of February. At the end of February, you're going to kind of slink back and lick your wounds. You're going to default back to old thought patterns and habits that have always protected you and served you in the past, but may not be the best for you. But due to the trauma that you felt from the beginning of February, you're going to want to kind of protect yourself with like a return to the old ways. But what's going to happen come March is you are still going to face a period of time where you're going to have some worries and concerns. Now, when I see the Nine of Swords, it always signifies to me fleeting, which means this isn't a long-lasting period of stress and concern and worry. This is a period that's going to wind down quickly. It's going to close off quickly. It's going to wind up quickly. You're going to summon the strength and the courage to kind of break out of those old habits and thought patterns that were protecting you and try down this new road again. And this new road is going to be pretty exciting, but it's going to take a lot of strength and a lot of courage for you to get there. So there will be a period in the beginning of March where you have some sleepless nights, a little bit of worry and stress, but you are going to summon the courage and the ability to push down this new path. Once you do that, you have some pretty awesome things in store for you at the end of March. So the first thing I see is the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Wands. Usually the Eight of Wands represents to me either messages coming in at a very, very quick speed, or hasty decision making, or some travel. Combine that with the Chariot, and it looks like you're on a progression of moving forward, and you're moving forward at a quick pace. This new situation is coming roaring in. The end of March is roaring in to the beginning of April. And it's going to be a time of rapid advancement and rapid growth. Now, where I see that happening is there's going to be another new person that's going to pop up. Now, I know what you're thinking. Heck no, no thank you. The first one wasn't great. That didn't go well. This one is different. Like I said, I've never had cards pop up like this before. But these also. So here we've got the Ace of Wands, Three of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Cups. So All of those cards, for me, work in tandem with this card. Basically, what this is this is a new person. Now, I get the feeling that this is going to be a new love interest. Doesn't necessarily. It might be a business partner. It might be a friend. For me, though, I think it's going to be a new love interest. This person is going to be the catalyst to the conclusion of the rapid growth that you started at the beginning of March. Okay? They're going to be the thing that ties it all together. And they really do represent joy and love and peace and security and success and achievement. They are going to bring you to levels and help guide you to levels you didn't know you could get to as a person. And as a result, you're going to reach the state of the Empress, which is this strong, valiant person who is confident in themselves. They are providing a great life for themselves and the people that they care about. They are doing great things. They are achieving great things. And it's going to come as a result of the things that this person brings to you. So yes, the first time you tried it, it didn't go so well. I understand. But don't close the door. Don't do it, because you're going to go through this rapid advancement that's going to bring you to this person. And overall, you're going to achieve this just beautiful, beautiful time that is going to carry you into April and the rest of 2019. Who knows? We're going to find out what amazing things that will bring. But open yourself to this opportunity. I understand you may want to protect yourself and guard yourself because of kind of what's showing, but don't close yourself off from this opportunity. And also remember too, these are just general readings. You control your own destiny and fate. You control how these situations. This is just the energy that I've pulled from the cards, but you have a million decisions open to you to decide if that's going to be the outcome for you or not. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to pull 2 oracle messages for you. So just give me a second here. Spirit guides, please give me messages for Pisces. What is the overall message that Pisces needs to know? Well, we got two overall messages, as I suspected. Okay, so we have the love card and we have the order card. So I'm going to start with the order card, which to me again represents you started in this whirlwind. Everything seemed like it was going to be amazing. You started to see the cracks, the pitfalls, and things just plunged into chaos. Your world was thrown into disorder. Now, you took some time to try and build that order back, but that wasn't really working. So you built up the strength and the courage to try a different path, which has led you to the love card. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean romantic love. Although it can also mean the unifying force in the world. Love is the one thing that bonds us all as people. So this could symbolize a friendship love, a parental love. It could signify a deep respect type of love in terms of a business partnership or something of that nature. But what it's showing is you went through this period of trial and tribulation to achieve this ultimate unifying love that people look for a very long time and don't always find. But you have the opportunity to experience this world-changing, world-unifying love. So the next 3 months are going to be pretty exciting for you. I hope that this reading was helpful. I really appreciate you sticking with me. I am still learning. I'm still new at this, so I'm always open to feedback and to criticism. If you liked it, great. If you didn't, that's totally fine. If you think this can help someone, please share it. Please leave a like and a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts or impressions. Or if you have any questions that I can answer, feel free to ask. Thank you so much for tuning in and have a great rest of your day, lovies. Blessed.